Welcome back to the 6th race weekend and the second race of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship here in Zolder, Belgium. And I was like, why not starting out backstage? Because this normally is a box where a race car might be standing and the mechanics are working, but this is where our television booth is actually taking place. There are some safety cars off the circuit of Zolder that are normally working outdoors once there are race cars on track, but now we have race trucks. You're right, because of course we are in the truck racing championship, so also there should be some pace trucks coming very soon because we're about to start the second race soonish. But beforehand, a warm welcome to our commentator Chaz.
Thank you, Lena. Yes, hello everybody. Chaz Draycott here, commentating on the 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. My colleagues Joachim Eberts and Fonzie Cebrian can be found commentating on the German and Spanish live streams respectively. But we are here, as Lena mentioned, for the 6th race meeting of our 8-weekend championship in 2023. We were going to have a 9-weekend season, I should say, this year, but unfortunately the round at the Hungaroring had to be postponed due to construction at the circuit. But still, we've had a very busy season so far and a very exciting one at that. Plenty of drama, plenty of great racing throughout, and we find ourselves here for round 22 of the 32 races this year here at Zolder in Belgium. I, for one, am really looking forward to this second race of the day because race 1 was an absolute treat. Plenty to look at, plenty to think about, and a big shake-up in the order at the front of the pack as well, with a big failure for Norbert Kish in terms of the turbocharger on his MAN. Not usually something that we see happen to the Revache Racing team, but these failures and issues can happen to anyone in motorsport. You are not immune, I can tell you that. This is where it's all taking place this weekend at Zolder, and as you see, one of the key numbers on your screen, well, it's the air temperature, 31 degrees Celsius at the moment. This is nothing like the conditions we've had at Zolder before, so it's definitely a challenge for the drivers and the teams. We have heard that there are some definite challenges in terms of keeping the temps down in the trucks as well from Sascha Lenz earlier on. So certainly more to think about this weekend than usual, and that's when you don't look at the very, very twisty circuit. It is a massive challenge here at Zolder. Some of the first sector is a massive, massive, difficult section that's one long sweeping corner effectively. You've just got to clip 3 different apexes, and then you've got a lot of chicanes and hairpins to think about too. The Kleiner chicane, the Villeneuve chicane, and the Jackie Ixbocht at the end of the lap as well. And that's without mentioning the Boulderberg Harshbelt Bocht, which is the hairpin in the bottom right of your track map. The circuit's been around a long, long time, so have some of our drivers in the championship. We spoke to Jochen Hahn earlier today, and he was saying it was his 24th running here in this championship. And it was on the 24th running, i.e. his 24th year of racing here, that he took a race win in race 1. Let's have a look at how it unfolded, shall we? So the sun was beaming as we got to the grid, and it was around 25, 26 degrees in the air, so it wasn't even as hot as it is right now. It's still 28 degrees here in the UK as well, so certainly a hot weekend all round. It was a hotly contested front row as well, with Norbert Kish alongside Jochen Hahn, and Norby would lead them away with the entire field, very strangely, staying completely line astern for the first lap of the race. Despite all the jostling and moving that was going on, there was no position changes. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez was holding station in 4th place, doing a wonderful, wonderful job, but a couple of laps in, Norbert Kish started to slow down. It seemed like he knew there was an issue with the truck and he wasn't fighting it, and then all of a sudden the truck made it very, very apparent that there was something wrong. The turbocharger blowing on the right-hand side, and some quick thinking from Norbert Kish to get the truck out of harm's way so the race could continue uninterrupted. Really good stuff from Norby. But as you see, the damage was extensive, and the smoke cloud that followed was as well. Sascha Lenz was chasing down Jochen Hahn at the front of the pack, while others had their own strife. Jamie Anderson had an air pipe failure that then led him to retire from the race. There was also a black flag for Mark Taylor as well for 3 accounts of overspeeding during the race. So there was plenty of battling going on for the Promoters' Cup positions, while Andrei Kursim tried to hold off Stefan Fass. but it would be a win in the Promoters' Cup for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and an overall race victory for Jochen Hahn, who would take his third win of the season, just ahead of Sasha Lenz, with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez getting his second podium appearance this year, but his first one in race 1. It was wonderful entertainment and a very well-received victory for Jochen Hahn and the Iveco squad, and I'm sure that they'll be hoping to repeat that as the weekend goes on. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez showing just how talented he is, though, with that 4th place on the grid outright, and then, of course, 3rd place overall in the race. This is how it shapes the championship up for now, though, after 21 races. Norbert Kish on 266 points is just quite a fair bit clear, to say the least, from Jochen Hahn on 208. But then with Sasha Lenz and Antonio Albacete close behind, Steffi Halm now moves up into 5th place in the championship, ahead of Andre Kursim. She's just 1 point ahead now, with Jamie Anderson in 7th, ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. He now jumps ahead of Lucas Hahn, who is not here for this weekend. We do hope to see Lucas towards the end of the season, though. Stefan Faas completes the top 10 in the overall standings, with Adam Lachko after that great one-off appearance at Most. He finds himself 11th, ahead of Mark Taylor, John Newell, Heinrich Clemens-Hecker, Louis Requenco, Jonathan Andre and Owen Klein-Nagelvoort. It's great to have Jonathan Andre back with us again for this weekend. He's another very welcome member of the paddock, and Lena had a chat with him earlier on today and he seemed really enthusiastic about getting back behind the wheel of the truck and cracking on with the racing at hand. Our flag bearers there are ready to take to the grid, and in all of the heat it's certainly a definite good time now to get some shade, at least, as they give our cameraman a lovely wave. But there is, certainly a lot of places to get shade at Zolder. There's a lot of trees and buildings around this circuit. It's a very scenic place to go racing, but everybody will be ducking for shade at the earliest opportunity, because when it is hot out there in that part of the world, it's very muggy and sticky hot, as we say. It's very humid, so certainly the drivers and teams will be feeling that. Last year, when we went to the Slovakia ring at the midpoint of the season, it was over 41 degrees Celsius in the air, but it was just a very dry heat. It's just a completely different atmosphere. Lino, what's it like down there on the grid? Because it certainly looks hot from where we are here.
Oh, it for sure is hot down here, and I was like, have a look at this very empty starting line, and I was like, do you know these movies where you already can see like everything melting and there's like, I don't know, dust in the air? So this is how I just imagine the starting line to be. Luckily there's no dust on the track, because we will be starting out quite soon, and as you can tell, the fans, they have it quite comfy because they're like sitting in the shadows. There are a lot of people who live very close by to the racetrack of Zolder. I don't know if I've ever been here, but once you're leaving, there are like family houses, there's a forest, so it's quite cozy down there. So if you ever have a chance to come here, do so, because it's really lovely, and I already had a look on Google Maps if there's a lake around to like jump in later on. And I'm pretty sure what some of the drivers might be thinking so as well, because it's obviously super hot in those trucks. And I'm actually waiting for Sasha Lenz, because it's his 250th race, this one here. So I really want to hear of him if he even counted his races ever. And he has been on podium, second place beforehand, so maybe this is a big reason to be back on podium later on. Now they're finally arriving. So Chas, back to you, but only for a second, and I really hope to get a quick talk with Sasha. Hot, hot.
Thank you very much, Lena. Yes, indeed, it does look hot down there. And I know exactly what you mean as well. It's all of the heat haze. When you get it over the crest of a hill, it just looks like the circuit is melting away into the air. And it's definitely t-shirt and shorts weather, as we'd say in the UK. Well, it doesn't seem like that, though, for Michael Marek, our race director, who was at the front there. They have their full, wonderful FIA shirts and even the FIA trousers as well, the fantastic white and blue kit they have. And there is the red, black and yellow kit of Stefan Faas's Scania. The number 24 machine will start on the outside of the front row. And it should be Heinrich Clemens-Hecker on pole position next to him. You could just see Heinrich Clemens just pulling in there to the left-hand side. So it's an all Scania front row. And importantly, those guys are teammates. We need to go to our TV bumper now, though, so we're going to introduce our international TV viewers from around the world.
Welcome to all the fans of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And yes, we are back here in Zolder, Belgium for race number 2 of this weekend and the 6th race weekend in total. And it's super hot. We already experienced a super hot first race and we can't wait to get this second race started. They had some issues, a turbo exploded of Norbert Kish and so on and so on. So a lot has been going on over here. And before I'm handing over to Chaz, I really want to use this quick second and talk to Steffi Halm, who is like starting now very calmly, still having some water, which is very smart. How is your truck doing in the heat we're experiencing right now?
Yeah, you know, the worst thing is always the waiting, sitting and waiting until it starts because it's getting really, really warm. And but then it works. When you race, you're concentrated and you don't feel it after it's hot again.
Do you have a window or like anything where there's air coming inside?
Yeah, we have the possibility to put the side windows out, and we did it, but not much air is coming in, so.
So I really want to see your race later on. Hopefully no issues, no technical issues in the heat. And she got a lucky sticker beforehand, which makes me very proud. So thank you for this one. Thank you. So Chaz, over to you and our lovely English commentator.
Absolutely love that. Fantastic appearance there of the sticker. Yes, hello everyone. This is Chaz Draycott commentating on the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship for 2023. Super excited to have our fantastic drivers racing here at Zolder in Belgium. This wonderful circuit is a humongous challenge, and I tell you what, it always provides some great racing. So many overtaking opportunities, so many places for drivers to get it wrong as well. It's exactly 4 kilometers long with 16 corners. And as you can see there, it is 31 degrees Celsius in the air temperature at the moment. It really is a talking point of the weekend that the conditions are so different to how we've seen them before in Zolder. If you watch back last year's races, you'll see that it was all cloudy and rainy all weekend, and we had drivers spilling off the circuit in all directions. But the chicanes and hairpins here at Zolder are not the only challenges, of course. The first sector is a massive just big long circle basically for our drivers to get wrong, because you have to go really tight to the left at Erst at the first corner, and then the Stirravacht Bocht, which is the right-hander that they then get to, is the first of 3 apexes that they have to hit at really high speed. You have to have your gearing absolutely spot on around here in these trucks and be so careful when you do change up a gear that you don't snatch that rear axle and kick the back end out as it tries to put the traction down. So you have to be so tuned into the truck when it is behaving itself or when it's not behaving itself around here, and just know what to predict from it. But like I've said, so many places to get past other drivers, but also so many places to overcook it and get it slightly wrong. There is Norbert Kish. He's going to be starting from the back of the grid in this one, as he had a turbocharger failure during that first race. So he's going to be coming through from the back. But a driver that's going to be starting from the middle is going to be Sascha Lenz. He finished second in that last race, and he's with Lena.
Yes, and I did not dare to ask him beforehand, but Sascha, this is your 250th race, this one here. Are you aware of it?
No, I don't know. I see a picture in Facebook after the race one, and they said congratulations for 250 races. And I say to my guys, hey, listen, we have 250 races now. And one mechanic guy say, yeah, I know, I was 245 here.
All right, I really love this, and you became second in the first race. So does this make you push even more for more trophies to come now?
No, I want to look that anything, it's fine that we become points. So when on the end, P5, P6 or P3, doesn't matter for us. So I need points, that's only what we need.
All right, and he's a really strong driver, and you might know the color already that's going on over there. I really like his truck.
The women's like the color, you know.
So you always have your wife choose the color for the next season?
Correctly.
All right, because as you might know beforehand, green has his been main color. Now he went over to purple. So see, this is why he's charming. Now he caught me with a purple truck. Well, who knew? Okay, Chase, I might walk back over to some of your British friends and maybe also Norbert Kish. Back to you for a second. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Lena. And yes, we really do hope that Sasha has a fantastic 250th race in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. He is a real character and a lovely, lovely gentleman. And he's been learning a lot of English over the last couple of seasons as well. And it's getting better and better all the time. So it's fantastic to see. Always a pleasure to have Sasha on our grid. But yes, indeed, we have Norbert Kish further down the order for this race because of that turbocharger failure. So he was the first retirement from the race, from the lead as well. Had a little chat with him actually between races, funnily enough just on Instagram. I'm not there in the paddock actually this weekend, but he says there's not much point taking too many risks from that far back in the pack. He's just going to wait for the opportunities to come to him and see what he can make of it. He's not going to overdo it in this race. At the end of the day, this stuff happens sometimes in motorsport, as we know. And we're going to go forward a little bit from where Norbert is on the grid and speak to another driver that had a bit of misfortune in that race, and that was Jamie Anderson.
That's right. And I was like, Jamie, you're the only one not wearing a helmet right now. Everyone is getting ready to race and you're standing there quite chill. You seem to have some technical issues beforehand. So why are you standing here? Are you ready to walk home or what's going on?
No, just relaxing. See how we get on now. We had an air pipe problem and lost all brakes again in the last race. The weekend hasn't started how it wanted to be, but right now we need to reset and go from there. There's no point in being angry all day, and we need to relax and have fun in the last race.
You're coming out of the Promoters Cup, now you're a Titan driver. So is this a big difference or like change to last year as well?
No, I wouldn't say so. I'd say, yeah, we struggle because we're not on the podium all the time, but I think on a good day we have the pace to rival the Titans. And I think we're in a good stance. Sometimes you come somewhere and it just isn't your weekend, and we'll just fight to try and resolve it and get better as a team, and we can only go from there.
I have to ask you a very stupid question, actually. Do you like heat being British?
Do I like what, sorry?
The heat.
Yeah, of course. We have enough rain in England, and the heat isn't too bad for me. It's all right, and I enjoy it. It's good.
Okay, I really hope your truck also will get used to the heat we're experiencing right now. So good luck to you, and you're a really strong driver normally, so I really hope the best to see you fighting into the front again, starting from more of the back, and one is really very far in the back, and that's Norbert Kish. And Chaz, I will run over there, but back to you for a second. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Jamie may say we get a lot of rain here in England, but flipping heck, I tell you what, it's not raining today. I've actually just had to close my blinds and put the fan on in my office here at home because it is baking hot right now. It's just gone up to 29 degrees Celsius here in the UK where I am, up in Cheshire, and it is lovely, lovely weather. So, right now, it's definitely bright and beautiful down there at Zolder. Such a scenic circuit, this place, with the wonderful trees around and a beautiful run through all of the forest. Look at it, it's so pretty. And later on in the day as well, you get these fantastic shadows cast over by the trees. It certainly makes for some gorgeous, gorgeous racing shots. And a lot of the very classy photographers that we get around Zolder. I know a few of them through the whole sim racing venture side of things. The photographers at Zolder are usually amazing as well at making the most of those shadows and these fantastic angles around this place. But our grid is certainly a colourful one at that as well. The whole rainbow covered with our fantastic trucks. And the front row of the grid, teammates in the form of Stefan Faas and Heinrich Clemens Hecker. I'm really excited to see whether they can get some big points on the board for this. And we're going to go a bit further back to speak to Norbert Kish, which is not a sentence I say very often.
I really like how this start is racing out. They're all without the helmets, very relaxed mood over here. And are you relaxed? I called him Pac-Man last time because you're eating the trucks from the back. Is this what we will be seeing now again?
We see what we can do because here in Zolder is also, very difficult to overtake. Because the chicanes and everything, it's a difficult circuit, and it's also I think one of the most dangerous circuit in the calendar because of the barriers so close, and the concrete walls are so close, like you can see here in the start-finish straight as well. So probably not too much risk, because it's only 10 points in this race and only 1 point per position. So probably it's we try to take it safe. But of course, if we have a chance for a clean overtaking maneuver, then of course we will try to go forward, but medium risk.
All right, I love these answers before the race, and then it starts, and then you just see that he's doing his magic. Anyway, so you have a new turbo in now, so you're ready and confident to go racing again.
Yeah, of course. The guys fixed it really quickly. So, big thank you for the Davis Racing team again. And we're ready to go.
Oh, they're all smiling again as well. So I think you will have a lovely race to come now. So, Chaz, everything is pretty cool down here for being hot. So back to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lena. Yeah, they all certainly seemed pretty relaxed and happy, despite being right down there near the back of the grid. The reverse racing team always spot on. There's Csaba Bako with Norbert. Csaba, the team boss and an absolute superstar, and his wonderful lineup of mechanics and engineers. They're always very pleasant to have around the paddock. Whenever I go near them, even just walking by the awning, they always invite me in for just a drink and anything I need, and they always look after me. There's so many teams in the paddock that are just so pleasant to be around. It's just a great place. It really is. So it's that time, everybody, for our Ford F-Max inspection lap. We are partnered once again this season with Ford Trucks, and very grateful for that partnership. And Ford provide us with these two beautiful F-Maxes that we have in the paddock and on the circuit. We have a blue and white example that you see here that is usually the one that is at the innovation camp. And then we have the orange and black example as well, which is usually the one that does these inspection laps. So they've swapped them around for this weekend, which is nice. And once again, armed with my facts and figures, I can tell you that the Ford F-Max was designed and tested by 500 Ford engineers over a 5-year period, and they went across 4 continents into 11 countries and did over 5 million kilometres of road testing, and there was also 15,500 hours of lab testing in all that went into making the Ford F-Max what it is. And we have the wonderful Lucas Lesk back driving this machine again. It's great to have Lucas back in the championship. He's a very good friend of mine and a very good driver as well. Certainly gets those tyres smoking on the F-Max. And it is lovely to see him make his way around the gorgeous circuit of Zolder. But the inspection lap is there just to make sure there's no spillages, no debris, nothing on the circuit that might have been missed that could potentially affect our racing. And once that is completed, we are all good to go and everybody can make their way off the grid. There's Tony Idden, the legend, as I always call him, making his way off the grid past Antonio Albasetti's MAN. Antonio was a definite shout for a race victory here because he's right near the front of the grid now. Didn't have a perfect race one, so at the moment he's going to find himself right up there in the pack. There is the Ford F-Max on its way in. Now we see just the final moments before we get race number 2 of the weekend underway. You can tell just how hot it is. The glint of all of the windscreens and the banners and all of the actual bodies of the trucks themselves is so intense right now. It is a beautifully clear day at Zolder. And we're just going to quickly go back down to Lena one more time.
Of course, the lights are gonna turn green pretty soon. The front trucks are gonna start. And I was like, why are all these guys up here watching what's going on? And maybe I can get a very quick answer before they're actually starting. What will you be telling your driver in a second?
So I speak with him if the radio check was good, and wish him all the best, and say him go if the light goes green.
All right, so I can no longer disturb you because you really have to watch what's going on there. Not to delay Sasha Lenz, that would be horrible. I would not want to be responsible for that, so Tess, back to you. And let's get this race started with.
Thank you very much, Lena. Yes, there's been a few times in the last sort of season or so, and we've had these fantastic shots. I'm wondering whether our cameraman will remain there for the time being. But when the race gets underway, all of the engineers are staring at the lights, ready to shout go when the lights go out, just in case they are one of the trucks further back that can't see the lights. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to react to when the lead truck goes, like you would in a rolling start in a lot of other forms of motorsport. You want to react to when the lights go out, because that's when you're free to go and make your moves. So what the engineers do is they literally just stare at the lights, wait for it to go green or at least turn off, and then they will scream go. We've seen it a few times before. I'm wondering whether our cameraman may stay down there to witness that again, because it's a great sight. It's very, very interesting. You don't really see it in many other forms of motorsport. But our grid now makes their way away from the start line, and we get prepared to start the second race of the day here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. The very lead truck, though, is our official pace truck, and it is the gorgeous Iveco S-Way, the Bio-LNG S-Way, powered by those massive Bio-LNG tanks on the side, reducing emissions up to 90% with next to no hit on torque and horsepower. It's certainly a pokey machine, is that Iveco S-Way. Looks the part as well. And I have to say, the interior is gorgeous. Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Stefan Fast start on the front row in their two Scanias. Like I've said, two teammates looking for big points for the team's championship. Andre Kurzim and Antonio Albacete make up row 2. Antonio definitely in with a shout of a win from 4th place. Steffi Halm will start in 5th position with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez alongside her on the 3rd row. And then our first two finishers from race 1. Sasha Lenz reversed to 7th. Jochen Hahn reversed to 8th position. Then come the drivers that basically start the race where they finish the last one. John Newell finishing in 9th place, ahead of Louis Requenco in 10th position. Then we have Jonathan Andre in truck 66, alongside Jamie Anderson, who had that air pipe failure and unfortunately didn't finish the first race. Turbocharger failure kept Norbert Kish out of the running, and Mark Taylor got a black flag for multiple overspeeding infringements. Hopefully, if it was something just to do with the GPS or calibration, then they were able to sort that between the races, and hopefully he doesn't get caught out again. You can hear they're playing Thunderstruck around the circuit by AC/DC. A fantastic song to have our formation lap on, or accompanied by. When you do go and see live motorsport, they often do play music when there's a formation lap on, but to be honest, I think one of the finest song choices you could make is Thunderstruck by AC/DC, so hats off to whoever went for that, because it really does suit the rock and roll atmosphere of truck racing. It's certainly a great laugh. And there is one of the team members watching the broadcast live. Hello. They're going to see themselves in a moment. We weren't going to quite have that inception moment where you saw your own broadcast 2 or 3 times because of the natural delay that there is to our YouTube live stream, which is where most of the personnel and teams watch it from. We were probably going to have to wait around quite a long time to get to see that. Still, they make their way down towards the Jackie Ixbocht now. The final chicane on this lap, a very tough corner, big braking zone, 90 degree left, 90 degree right, but it opens up on the exit, so you can take the exit of the corner much quicker than you can the apex at the start of it. So here we go then, everybody round the final corner, over the crest, and here is that shot I mentioned. Watch all the engineers as they shout go. And there you go, round 22 of the 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship gets underway with Heinrich Clemens Hecker starting from the front, Stefan Fast on his outside. The two Scanias are teammates for Sweden Power, so they need to be careful and make it work together. Antonio Albacete behind them, a few of them running a little bit wide. Stefan Fast, the first of them to kiss that. Apologies, everybody. There was a big disconnection at my end there, but Heinrich Clemens Hecker going straight on at the Kleiner chicane. There's nearly contact between Antonio Albacete and Andre Kurzim. And now as the rest of the field goes over the crest of the hill, Stefan Fast is the one that seems to have lost out and dropped way down the order. There's nearly contact in the middle there with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm. But Stefan Fast now at the back of the pack after all of this. Hits the penalty marker through the Villeneuve chicane. There's Louis Riquenco and Mark Taylor side by side. And here is a look back at what happened then. So Heinrich Clemens Hacker just completely locks up the rear axle going into the Kleiner chicane. Overdoes it. And straight on he goes over the dust and the sand. And he's surely going to be under attack from a few runners and riders further back now. Norbert Kish already somehow up into 7th position. Absolutely flying through the order. And down into the chicane for the first time. It's now Antonio Albacete that takes the race lead. He's managed to open up a decent gap already as well over Heinrich Clemens Hecker, Andre Kurzim, then Sascha Lenz, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Then it should be, yes, Jochen Hahn next up, and then Norbert Kish down the inside. Jochen actually looking for a move on Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. He knows that he can't wait around here for Norby to attack him. So he tries to go down the inside of the MAN. They remain side by side. Norby gets a fantastic run. He could potentially look down the inside of Jochen there, but doesn't get the chance. He does now, though, as they go through the right-hander at Sterrenwacht Bocht. And look at that, still side by side in front. Oh, I think there was contact there between, yes, there was, Sascha Lenz and Stefan. Sorry, it was actually Heinrich Clemens Hecker, wasn't it? Sascha Lenz and Heinrich Clemens Hecker both going straight on. They haven't re-emerged from the gravel trap. I think they may have gone into the barriers. But it looked like Sascha Lenz tried to put his nose down the inside into the Lucien Bianchi box, and then Heinrich Clemens Hecker just didn't see that he was there. He turned in, and the two of them have gone around. I'm not sure if Sascha got back on the circuit to continue. The camera's panning that way as if Sascha's over there, and he is. He's off in the gravel. The two of them have been stopped there, and I imagine that may be a red flag situation. That's not how Sascha wanted his 250th race to go. Here's another look. Heinrich Clemens Hecker already backwards when they come into shot. Scary, scary looking stuff as they both go straight on. It's just a straight 360 for Heinrich Clemens Hecker. I'm not sure if something broke on the front left of Sascha's truck, but he's now sat in the gravel as well. I would have thought with the positioning of those trucks and where they are, it would be a red flag, but we'll have to wait and see because Antonio Albacete still leads the way. Andre Kurzim second, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez back up to 3rd place. And Sascha Lenz has got going. You can see there's damage underneath the truck as well. I'm not sure if that's just bodywork or whether something else has gone from bouncing through the gravel. But they have local yellow flags down there, so no overtaking into that long right-hander. They'll be given the green flag, I imagine, down the back straight towards the Kleiner chicane. And it looks like that's just bodywork from Sascha's truck, to be fair, that's got wedged underneath. Looks like something's happened to the suspension, though. It was leaning over on one side quite a lot and crabbing slightly sideways. There's double-waved yellows down there at turn 6, I'm told. And the incident is obviously under investigation. Antonio Albacete leads the way, though. I was mentioning earlier that there's this ongoing battle between himself and Jochen Hahn for who's got the most podiums. This would be Antonio getting a podium back on Jochen if it finished how it is. Norbert Kish is already up into 4th position, by the way, and this is only lap 3 of the race. He's absolutely flying through the pack. And there he is, all over the back of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Trying to make ground to go past. And there is, unfortunately, Sascha Lenz at the side of the road. Race number 250 not going well for Sascha. And apparently Heinrich Clemens Hecker is fine as well. He's out of the truck and he is heading over to the marshals, so good to hear that both drivers are all right. But a real shame to have them both out of this race. Both of the front runners from the front row, Stefan Fast and Heinrich Clemens Hecker, well, one out of the race, one in 11th position in the race at this moment in time. Antonio Albacete continues to lead. Norbert Kish has got up into 3rd position now, passing Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Jochen Hahn in the last lap and a half. Then it's Jamie Anderson. John Newell up there in 7th place overall, ahead of Mark Taylor, then Louis Requenco. Steffi Halm had to get out of the way of some of the action and chaos, I think, on the opening laps. Either that or Steffi's dropped down because she's now behind Stefan Fass. Has Steffi now got an issue because she's dropping down? I'm waiting to see her lap time come through, and she was, 1.4 seconds slower than Stefan Fass on that previous lap. So definitely something went wrong there for Steffi on that one. But Antonio Albacete leads, Andre Kurzim second. Now he's going to have Norbert Kish behind him. We've seen Andre Kurzim and Norbert Kish have some great battles in the past, and this could certainly line up to be another one. Over the crest of the hill they go again, and look, already Norbert Kish down the inside into the Villeneuve chicane. Fantastic move, and that means now that the Rivation T-Sport team of Norbert Kish and Antonio Albacete are first and second in this race, and doing a great job of it. Look at Antonio's lead though, 4.9 seconds over Norbert Kish, and now the battle begins behind Andre Kurzim, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Jochen Hahn. A bit of dust kicked up there, but no black smoke from Jochen Hahn because all of our trucks run on 100% renewable HVO diesel. That's what powers all of our race trucks. I know that the graphics guy Sebastian would be killing me if I got that one wrong, so apologies, mate. He always enjoys those little segues. But over the crest, beautiful sight with the trees in the background. The MAN of Antonio Albacete, the T-Sport burnout machine, leading this race. Norbert Kish surely bringing the gap down a little bit. Yes, he's taken half a second out of him actually on that previous lap. We're on lap 5 out of 12 now. The counter in the top left of your screen is how many laps we've completed. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez close to the back of Andre Kurzim, and then Jochen Hahn just behind as well. He's trying to put his nose down the inside now to try and take advantage of this little battle that's going on in front of him. And we're told that Sasha Lenz was stopped at turn 5, so that was down at the Kleiner chicane, where Sasha has pulled the truck over. Norby continues to push on and chase down our race leader. They may be teammates, but they will still battle each other given the chance for the overall standings. But this would be, I think, well, Norby's not technically started from right at the back of the pack because he was 13th out of 14. And there is an investigation between Louis Requenco and Steffi Halm, trucks 64 and 44. So that's where Steffi lost those positions earlier on. Jamie Anderson having a good run from the back of the grid, so too is Mark Taylor. Those guys have definitely benefited from some of the mayhem that happened in front of them. I unfortunately didn't see what happened to Stefan Fass. I wondered whether it was contact with him and his teammate or whether he just went wide and did it all on his own. But there was a slight connection issue from the facility itself, the circuit itself. But right now the battles carry on. John Newell in there in 7th place, on for 2nd place in the Promoters' Cup as this race stands. Mark Taylor next up. Stefan Fass has just got ahead of Louis Requenco and got up into 9th position again. So he makes some more progress through the pack. Across the line, Antonio Albacete had a gap of 4.1 seconds over Norbert Kish last time round, and now it's 3.5. So Norby's taken 0.6 of a second out of him in that latter part of the lap. Andre Kurzim here trying to defend from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. He's just trying to maybe get a cut back. It's one of those circuits where you can really line yourself up for a good cutback, actually. I've raced here a lot of times in the simulator. Not so in trucks, but in other racing machines, and you can spend a lot of time setting up a maneuver around a track like this, going one way then the other, quite literally, as Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is doing right now. He's weaving around behind Andre Kurzim as if to say, I would come by if I could find a way around that big white and yellow thing. as they go through the Villeneuve chicane once more. I was just trying to see what the lap times were last time round. It was 1:59.8 for Curzim, 2 minutes 0.026 for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, so very close on the lap times as well. Obviously, Rodriguez having to back out slightly to make sure he doesn't go in the back of him. There is Jonathan Andre behind Steffi Halm. Interesting to note, actually, on Jonathan's truck, you can see how much lower the wing mirrors are on that machine. That's a really strange thing for me to notice at this point, but if you have a look at it again in a little bit, look at where the wing mirrors are on Antonio Albasetti's truck. They're never really symmetrical on most of our racing trucks, but they are both at windscreen height at least, sometimes going towards the sun strip of the truck. And you can see in all cases there, they're all windscreen height, nearly sunstrip height. But if you see Jonathan Andre's truck again in a little bit, they're just above. And there you go, look, Jonathan Andre's truck there. Look how low down the wing mirrors are. Just at the top of the door meets the windscreen. Such an odd location for them, but then again, nothing lost, nothing gained, I imagine, with that. Side by side here with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Andre Curzim as they're together now, and still Andre Curzim defends. He's very good at defending like this. Over the crest once more. He's got Jochen Hahn behind him as well as Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, and then Jamie Anderson, who Lena spoke to earlier on. Jamie will be happy to have salvaged a 6th position from this race, so I don't think he'll be taking too many risks as things stand right now. Obviously, if there is a bit of drama in front of him and these lot all shuffle each other around, I know that he'll happily take that. We're into the second half of the race now, and Norbert Kish is closing in and in and in on Antonio Albasetti. The gap now down to 1.26 seconds the last time they crossed any of the timing beams, and I know that it'll be less than that now. If Norby can make up for his race 1 dramas with that turbocharger and take a race victory here, they will be over the moon, surely. In terms of his championship advantage, he's going to be opening that back up now over Jochen Hahn, who took the race win in race 1. Part of me would sort of not be surprised if he actually allowed Antonio Albasetti to win this race, because they are teammates. But it's only 1 point extra or 1 point less in the case of Antonio if Norby overtakes him or not, and that's in terms of the overall Drivers' Championship. In the Teams' Championship they would score exactly the same. It's just the drivers responsible for each point would be swapped around, that's all. So we'll keep our eye on this and see how this goes. Norby is making it very clear that he wants to get by Antonio. 7 championships between the pair of them. Norby a 4-time champion in 2014 and 15, and then 21 and 22. Antonio Albasetti a 3-time champion, 2005, 2006 and 2010. 13 years since Antonio's won a title, but still one of the consistent front runners in European truck racing. He is an absolute star. Another driver and member of the paddock that I would describe as a legend. As Jochen Hahn, Jochen Hahn, I was going to say, sends it down the inside, but goodness me, Stefan Fass is off in the wall now. And that has gone in properly into the tyre barrier. Now that is not good at all for Stefan. Luckily, it doesn't look like there was too much damage or anything done to the truck. It's just sort of looks like it's rested against the wall. Maybe gone in on that left-hand side, actually, because you can see where the tyres have been dragged slightly. Speaking of dragging tyres slightly, Norbert Kish drags his tyres down the side of Antonio Albasetti's truck. They make contact into the chicane, so never mind playing the team game and playing together. They're going completely head-to-head now, these two. Amazing stuff. Norby just sliding the back end of the truck out slightly on his way into turn 1. Antonio's got a lot of laps to hold on here in front of Norby, but Antonio knows what he's doing. Very, very good truck racer indeed. He's going to try and cover all bases where possible. Norby's tried to go for a cutback out of turn 2, the Sterenwacht bocht, down through Canal bocht into the Lucien Bianchi bocht. I think by now I've realised that bocht probably means turn. But it's Albacete from Kish. Kurzim in 3rd place. Hahn in 4th now, ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Jimmy Anderson in 6th place, just sat behind those guys. And John Newell not too far off either. It looked like Stefan Faas has gone off down at turn 3, but there's not a camera on the inside there. Or is there a camera? No, there is a camera on the inside there, because we saw earlier on what had happened between Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Sascha Lenz. Sascha Lenz's truck is off there at the Kleine chicane. But I couldn't quite figure out where Stefan Faas had gone off. And apparently Stefan Faas is okay, which is good. It's been reported that he is fine. Just a kiss into the wall and he couldn't get the truck out of it. Here's a look back at the moment that was developing just before we cut to that. You can see just in the background there, actually, it's been picked up. Stefan going straight on down at turn 3. I'm not sure if that's down to some sort of failure or whether he just overcooked it and clipped the grass. I thought we were looking there at Jochen Hahn getting past Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, but no, fantastic spot by our director there to notice the incident in the background. The lead two continue to move away here. Norbert Kish and Antonio Albacete, but in the other order. Albacete still holds on to the race lead. He's made it very clear at the moment that he's not going to let Norby go through. And here's a look at what happened to Stefan Faas. So he's had a huge lock-up into turn 3. And the truck just isn't turning. Just wasn't turning. It wasn't slowing down as Norby slides his way around the inside of Antonio Albacete. Antonio's now got to give him the room as they go through turn 2. Norby all the way around the outside. Is he going to be able to carry that pace completely through turn 3? Down to turn 4. Watch the right-hand side of his shot. Yes, he is. Norbert Kish gets it done. Takes the race lead. Fantastic manoeuvre by the reigning champion. And his teammate is left wondering, what on earth do I have to do here? Norby does cover the inside line just in case. That's one of the moments where you can see right through Norby's truck there from where the grill goes. On the very front. Through to the back. No huge intercoolers completely blocking the flow of air through that machine. But there's a few of them where you can see all the way through from the very front. It's always quite interesting when you get a really well-lit background on these things. It's just like one large tunnel. And we've been told there's a red flag. Yes, indeed, red flag comes out. And I believe that is maybe down to the location of Stefan Faas's truck and the fact that we also have Heinrich Clemens Hecker's truck out there as well. And we are unable to get them out of there safely. And it's not the safest of places for them to be, unfortunately. There is Stefan's truck in the barriers. And I think one of the other things to consider there is that the barrier itself has been hit and damaged and sort of knocked over. So if there was another hit to that tyre wall, then it wouldn't be able to sort of withstand as much a second time round, which is a big shame. And there is Heinrich Clemens Hecker walking past Stefan's truck. You get an idea of just how huge these machines are as well. Look, when you see the drivers stood next to them. And Heinrich Clemens Hecker is about 9'6" as well. He's a very, very tall man. But he has a look over any potential damage to Stefan's truck. It seems like Stefan's concerned by something in the engine bay, so maybe he feels like something broke. And that's what caused the potential issue. But that is a huge, huge shame to see. It's also a very considerate thing, actually, to red flag the race at this point, because I think it could be declared a result. And it means that the clean-up operation that could happen now wouldn't affect following races on the programme, if that makes sense. Which is very good of whoever's made the call there. But as far as I know, that would mean that Norbert Kish gets the win, unless there's a lap of countback, but we are... Well, we finished lap 9. And on a 12-lap race, my maths isn't very good, but I believe that's at least 75% race distance, isn't it? There's Heinrich Clemens Hecker. He and Stefan Fast, both rather ironically ending up in the same gravel trap by the time the race has ended, and they both started on the front row. Not a perfect scenario for either of them at all. And it looks like we will get a result out of this, so it looks like Norbert Kish is going to take the race win from Antonio Albacete and Andre Kurzim. And in the Promoters' Cup, it will be Rodriguez, Newell and Taylor. Into the paddock they go. As Lena once again has to replace the boards. Andre Kurzim with a third place finish. That'll go down very well with the team after a tough time out at Moss last time. And Antonio Albacete grabbing himself another podium when Jochen Hahn doesn't get one. That's podium 289 for Antonio. It'd be lovely to see him get enough podiums to surpass 300 by the end of this season, but I'm not sure that he will do. He'll have to get a lot more average than he's on right now. But to come from 13th on the grid for Norby to take the race victory there, very, very impressive. Once again, showing the talents of this young man. And Lena's going to have a chat with him about how that race went, because that was best case scenario.
Well, good to see you in the finish line and good to see you in first place again. Who knew 25 minutes ago when you were like, I take this really calm and slow, and there we are again, first place. So.
Yeah, not happy because of the red flag. It's not the first place, it's Antonio. It's because they go one lap back. And I think it's more than disappointing, after a race like this, when I can come up so clean, and the first touch I had was with Antonio when he was defending a little bit too aggressive, I think. But overall, again, good performance, very good job from the team, coming back, fixing the track, and then coming and I take this as a win, and finishing on the first position. I am really happy.
All right. Is Antonio a really strong competitor to you? Because this really looked like you had some work to do.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too strong, because I think it's a little bit moving under braking, closing the door when I'm already in there, so it's a little bit unnecessary things that I don't like, but yeah.
You go to your team, they're really happy. I saw them smiling and have a lovely evening. And let's see Mr. Albacete, the fighter in the field. You really worked on defending yourself in this race. Are you glad for the red flag, or would you have wanted to fight him a little more?
Well, no. He was much faster, So yeah, I'm glad for the red flag because I don't know if we are first or second, but I think I was in front of him in the last lap or the previous lap. So we will see, but yeah, I'm happy with the result for sure.
Okay,
yeah.
So there are still some questions up open in the sky. So this is why he said he's not sure if he's first. And actually, I really meant to talk to Andre Kurzim as well, because he must have counted the laps depending on what was going on behind him. Congratulations to you. How do you feel right now?
Yeah, it was a very hard race for us. We have all the time problems with our engine, and yes, we have to fight very hard. And yes, we are very happy that the red flags come out and the race was over.
What's going on in your head at a race like this? Because you must be looking in the rear mirror all the time. And I was like, he has to count the laps to be like, please, 4 more, 3 more. Like, what's going on in your head in this moment?
Yes, at first I have to show the mirror all the time. I know Jochen comes and Norby comes. And yes, I know there was a little bit faster than me. And yes, lap by lap, 3, 4.
All right, you did it. You will be for sure on third place, so congratulations to you. Go get that trophy and chest back to you. And let's see who actually will be standing on first place in quite a second.
Yeah, I've not got a clue. I honestly don't have a clue. We're just having a check now from race control, and yeah, Alice Holloway, bless her, will be looking at every single screen possible and trying to get as much information as possible. We have 4 incidents still under investigation. The start will not be resumed, and according to specific timing screens, we have Antonio Albacete as the race winner. So we're just going to get updates as more and more goes on. Alice has said herself that it's going to be quite a long one for the stewards, we imagine, with a lot to look at there, especially with the red flag compacting things and finishing the race early for us. But you can see a discussion there with Norbert Kish and Antonio Albacete. The two of them certainly discussing what was going on in those last few corners. It was very hard racing between the pair of them, though. They are teammates, let's not forget. But you could see a lot of fluid pouring out of Norby's truck a moment ago as well. That's not a good sign at all, to say the least. So I'm not sure why that suddenly expired afterwards. There's a gentleman there with a big Hungarian flag. John Newell with a big smile on his face. And there is your result. Would you look at that? 5,000ths of a second as he crossed the line. Antonio Albacete takes the race victory with Norbert Kish, so they count it back a lap basically. And then Andrei Kurzim finishes third, a great podium for him. Jochen Hahn in fourth. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez continues a great day in fifth, ahead of Jamie Anderson, John Newell and Mark Taylor, the three British drivers flying in formation there. 6th, 7th and 8th. Louis Requenco was 9th and Steffi Halm finishes in 10th place. Jonathan Andre is 11th with Stefan Faas counted 2 laps down after his retirement. Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Sasha Lenz also out of the race after their incident down at turn 3. And a very ominous bit of footage here for our cameraman to complete. Fair play, though. That's one way of showing us. That is one way of showing us, indeed. Reminds me of the whole Vettel moment down at Montreal a few years ago in that open-wheeled thing. So, the podium then. This is going to be a very interesting one, this. Norby said he wasn't very happy with the fact that it got counted back. We'll see if there's a reaction from him. Andrei Kurzim takes third place, though. There's going to be a definite positive and happy reaction from him. He'll be over the moon with a third place. Norbert Kish will take up to the podium to take second. And Antonio Albacete will make his way up there for first place in round 22 of the championship here at Zolder. And the trophies are handed out by the CEO of Circuit Zolder. And Antonio Albacete has another trophy to his name, his 110th race win, 289th podium. And the Spanish national anthem there for Antonio Albacete. There'll be one hell of a clean-up operation going on in the background to get the trucks removed from the turn 3 gravel trap. And they will change their hats, as is almost standard now. And a big smile from Antonio Albacete. That'll mean a lot to him and the team. That'll be going in the vlog, won't it, Tim? That will definitely be going in the vlog. There's Javier Martin from Goodyear on the left-hand side. Also Terry Gibbon from Newell Wright Transport Racing. I can't remember the team name now. Sorry, John. Don't hurt me. But here we go. Champagne for round 22 of the championship. And Nobby soaking Antonio. Brilliant stuff. That's one for his teammate. It's like a load of kids fighting in the playground, isn't it? It's great fun. Lovely stuff. Great entertainment by the guys. And a really happy podium for those three on a Saturday night here in Belgium. Still big points for Norbert Kish, a fantastic drive. He may not be happy with the count back and obviously having the result not taken away from him, but, you know, having it switched back. But still, he went from right at the back of the pack to finish in second place, and he took the lead on the circuit as well, which was so impressive. And again, another sign of just how good Norby is. Okay, so we now move on to our next podium. We're quickly going to go back down to speak to Lena, though. She's got Antonio Albacetti.
Smiling Antonio that has some champagne in his eyes. So who knew? You're first. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yes, a great result. I mean, this morning we have, well, I make a mistake in time practice, you know. I was quicker until the slow corner. I missed the brakes and then I have no good tires for the rest of the time practice. But yeah, okay, I mean, 5th and 1st is quite good, and I think that the points are still there, you know, because I think Sasha didn't finish. So yeah, happy. Let's see tomorrow what's going on.
All right, so see you tomorrow. You go have a lovely evening. And now, of course, we have the promoters who will have, or the winners of the Promoters Cup, who get some trophies as well.
And right on cue begins our Promoters Cup podium now. We have 2 British drivers making their way up to the podium with the same winner, though, yet again, the man at the top of the championship. Mark Taylor makes his way up there, though, for 3rd position. Some more silverware for him and the team. They'll be really pleased with that. That's Mark's 7th podium of the season. And the same for John Newell as well, actually. That's John's 7th podium appearance as well. And Jose Eduardo Rodriguez goes back to the top step again after a great day of racing here at Zolder. He's certainly in his element at the moment. And the drivers will, one by one, receive their trophies from CEO of Circuit Zolder. John Newell receives his 2nd place trophy for the Promoters Cup. And Jose Eduardo Rodriguez gets some more silverware to take back to the family trophy cabinet. And Jose Eduardo Rodriguez takes what is his 9th win in the Promoters Cup this season and his 17th podium appearance in the category. A great season for this young man. It's his first full campaign, and he is certainly shining at the top of the standings now after Stefan Faas gets a DNF in that one. It's a perfect time for Jose Eduardo to get maximum points and a taste of the champagne as well. And both of the guys giving him a light sprinkling, I think I'm going to call it. It wasn't a direct shot at him, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. But that is our Promoters Cup podium, everybody. And we will take a look, I'm sure, at the championship standings and how that affects things going into the next day's racing, which will come back tomorrow for rounds 23 and 24. 275 points for Norbert Kish from Jochen Hahn's 215. So a direct 60-point lead as of right now, with Sasha Lenz finishing in 3rd place, or not finishing, sorry, 7 points ahead of Antonio Albacetti now, so that's really closed up. Then a 60-point gap back to Andre Kurzhim, who leaps back in front of Steffi Halm. Jamie Anderson now and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez still close together, ahead of Lucas Hahn and Stefan Faas. 11th is Adam Lachko with Mark Taylor behind, then John Newell, 7 points between those guys. Heinrich Clemens-Hecker next up, ahead of Louis Requenco, Jonathan Andre and Owen Klein-Nagelvor. You can see the sun just gradually setting over the beautiful Zolder circuit. We're going to go straight back down to Lena, though, who's going to get another interview for us.
Quickly before the music for the winner will be playing again. So, John and Mark, you must be really happy, huh?
Oh yeah, really happy. Qualifying went terribly wrong, and then we gained a few places in race 1, and then race 2 we made a decent jump. Times are getting quicker, and it's good for us as a team. Mark's back on track, 2nd and 3rd in team championship. Couldn't be any better.
So who knew you would end up with a trophy in your hand today, huh?
I would never thought it. No, after last race, got disqualified for overspeed, and the truck's been in trouble, but everyone's helped me on the team. John, Sasha, everyone's all helped me to get out, get on the podium today, so it's brilliant.
All right, so you go enjoy whatever's left in that battle. Pour it on yourself, not on me. And have a lovely evening. Just back to you.
Fantastic stuff from our Promoters Cup drivers. Lovely to see Mark Taylor on the podium after what's been a very difficult couple of weeks for him and the team, and credit to everyone for helping them out. 249 points is the score that Jose Eduardo Rodriguez holds at the moment. Stefan Faas on 225 points. Then it's Lucas Hahn and Mark Taylor third and fourth. John Newell just behind now, only 3 points between him and Mark. Then it's Louis Requenco next up, ahead of Heinrich Clemens Hecker, Jonathan Andre in 8th place, and Erwin Klein-Nagelvoort on 21 points. So we're going to have a look back now, though, at some of the best pictures from that second race of the day, second race of the weekend here at Zolder. And what a busy one it was. It certainly kept us on our toes, didn't it? Unfortunately, there was a slight connection issue in the opening lap, though, so some of these pictures might even be new to me. But everyone was really anticipating a lot of fun and action after a great first race really shook up the order. We had a number of drivers starting further down the order than they normally do, so they were certainly hoping for opportunities to jump up the order as quickly as they could. It was the two Scanias off the front row of Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Stefan Faas. Stefan going off on his own, and then Heinrich Clemens Hecker doing the same down at the Kleiner chicane. He managed to continue, but Antonio Albacete inherited the lead, and then Norbert Kish once again made his way back through the pack. He had two less trucks to overtake in the form of Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Sascha Lenz after they came together down at turn 3, and Antonio's lead got bigger and bigger. Norbert Kish quickly dispatched of Andre Kurzim, who would defend fantastically to hold third position by the flag, and Norby would go reeling in Antonio at the front of the field and hope to try and catch him out. As mentioned, though, Andre Kurzim was defending so well from the likes of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Jochen Hahn and Jamie Anderson behind. I had a lovely moment staring at Jonathan Andre's wing mirrors, while Norbert Kish was staring at the back of Antonio Albacete's MAN. Stefan Faas went off in the background into the tyre barriers, which ultimately would bring out the red flag in the end. Norby did take the race lead, but after crossing the line with 5 thousandths of a second between himself and Antonio Albacete, Antonio technically wins the race on countback, a remarkably small margin. Fantastic stuff. I'm going to say goodbye for now, though, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure once again. Chaz Draycott here, commentating from the UK, and I will leave the final words down to my wonderful colleague Lena. I'll see you tomorrow.
For watching this race, and I really hope this race has been made you jumping in front of the screen as much as I've been jumping around over here in our box, because I think this has been exciting. Both races actually have been exciting. So back tomorrow, 2 more races to come, 1 more qualifying to come tomorrow at 11 a.m. So yeah, just make a note in your phone or whatever and come back tomorrow at 11 a.m. either on the television screen or on the live screen. So yeah, this is it for now from Belgium. Find the lake, have a lovely evening, have some barbecue, and see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.